My wife's ex texted, "Mind if I stop by for dinner? Your wife invited me." I responded, "Sure, 7 p.m. works." Then I called my divorce attorney and had papers served for dessert. When he arrived to chaos, he finally understood. Original post. I, 41 male, have been married to my wife for 7 years. Together for 9 total. No kids, which in hindsight is probably a blessing given how things have unfolded. We own a house together. Well, I own most of it since I put down the entire down payment and have been paying the mortgage solo for the past 3 years while she figured out her career path. Her ex-boyfriend has been a problem since day one of our relationship. They dated for 4 years in their 20s, and according to her, they had this deep connection that transcended romance. When we first started dating, she told me they'd stayed friends, and I'd have to accept that. I was young and stupid and in love, so I accepted it. For 9 years, I've watched this man insert himself into our lives at every opportunity. He showed up at our engagement party to congratulate us. He came to our wedding as a guest she invited without telling me until a week before. He texts her constantly, calls her late at night when he's going through something, and somehow always needs her emotional support through his endless stream of failed relationships. I brought this up dozens of times. Each conversation ends the same way. I'm insecure. I don't understand their friendship. And if I really loved her, I'd trust her. So I tried. I really tried. I swallowed my discomfort and told myself I was being the bigger person. 3 weeks ago, something changed. I was working from home. I'm a software engineer, so I can do that pretty flexibly. When I overheard her on the phone in the other room, she thought I was on a call with my headphones in. I wasn't. "I know, I miss you too." No, he doesn't suspect anything. It's not like that. It's just, we have a connection he'll never understand. Next Thursday works. He has that conference thing. I sat there frozen. My whole body went cold. 9 years of defending her, of trusting her, of being told I was the problem for feeling uncomfortable. And here she was, confirming every fear I'd ever had. I didn't confront her. What would be the point? She'd just gaslight me again, tell me I misheard, that I was being paranoid. Instead, I did what any rational person would do. I started gathering information. Over the next 2 weeks, I documented everything. The phone calls, the texts I could see on our shared iPad when she forgot to log out, the work lunches that lasted 3 hours. The Thursday, she supposedly had a team building event, but came home smelling like his cologne. Yes, I know what he smells like. He's been around enough. I also contacted a divorce attorney, explained the situation, asked what I needed to do to protect myself. He told me that in our state, adultery doesn't really affect asset division much, but documented evidence of financial irresponsibility and contribution disparity absolutely does. Given that I've been paying the mortgage, all utilities, and most living expenses while she explored her options, I was in a strong position. Then, last Tuesday, I got the text that changed everything. It came from her ex's number, which I had saved just to know when he was calling. The message said, "Hey man, mind if I stop by for dinner tonight? Your wife invited me. Just wanted to make sure you were cool with it." The audacity, the sheer, unbelievable audacity. He was texting me to confirm a dinner invitation my wife had extended to him at our house without telling me. I stared at that message for a good 5 minutes. Then I typed back, "Sure, 7 p.m. works. Looking forward to it." And then I called my attorney. "How fast can you have divorce papers ready? I can have something drafted by end of day if we use the template we discussed." "What? I need them served tonight. At my house. Around 7:30. There was a pause. "That's unconventional. Can it be done?" "Technically, yes. I can have a process server there. But are you sure you want to do it this way?" I've never been more sure of anything. The rest of the afternoon was a blur of preparation. I tidied up the house, set the table for 3, nice plates, candles, the whole thing. Made her favorite meal, grilled salmon with asparagus and roasted potatoes. Opened a bottle of wine. Made everything look perfect. She came home around 5:30, surprised to see the setup. "What's all this?" "Just felt like making something nice." "Your friend is coming for dinner, right?" She froze. Just for a second, but I caught it. "Oh, he told you." He texted. Very polite of him, actually. More consideration than I usually get. She recovered quickly. I was going to tell you. It just came up last minute. He's going through a rough patch, and it's fine. I said 7 works. She looked at me suspiciously. In 9 years, I'd never been this calm about him coming over. Usually, there'd be tension, arguments, me being accused of jealousy. Not tonight. Okay, she said slowly. I'm going to go change. The ex arrived at 7:05. I answered the door myself, shook his hand, invited him in like we were old friends. He looked confused, but pleased, probably thinking I'd finally come around after all these years of barely tolerating him. Dinner was surreal. The 3 of us, eating salmon and making small talk while I watched them exchange glances they thought I didn't notice. Her touching his arm when she laughed. Him leaning in a little too close. The casual intimacy of 2 people who thought they were fooling me. At 7:32, the doorbell rang. I'll get it, I said, standing up. Probably a delivery. I opened the door to find the process server, exactly as planned. Handed him a $50 tip I'd prepared in advance. Living room, the woman at the table. Her name is on the papers. He walked past me with professional efficiency. I stayed by the door, watching. Are you the wife of the homeowner? He asked. She looked up confused. Yes. He handed her the envelope. You've been served. Have a good evening. And then he left. Just like that. The silence in the dining room was deafening. She opened the envelope, pulled out the papers, and her face went white. What is this? Divorce papers, I said, walking back to the table. Seemed like a good time, since we're all here together. Her ex stood up, looking between us. Wait, what's happening? What's happening? I said. Is that I'm divorcing my wife. The woman you've been sleeping with for. How long has it been now? A few months? A year? I honestly lost track. We haven't. I don't know what you're talking about. Please don't. I've heard her on the phone with you. I've seen the texts. I've documented the hotel visits. I turned to her. The Marriott on the 14th? The Hilton 3 weeks before that? Very classy, by the way. Expense to our credit card. She was crying now. You don't understand. I understand perfectly. You've been cheating on me with your ex while I paid for everything. The house, the car, your career exploration, that never seems to go anywhere. I've been funding your lifestyle while you snuck around behind my back. Her ex grabbed his jacket. I'm leaving. This is between you 2. No, stay. I think you should hear this. I looked him dead in the eyes. She's been telling me for 9 years that you're just friends. That I'm paranoid for being uncomfortable. That if I really loved her, I'd trust her. You've been coming to my house, eating my food, and sleeping with my wife. The least you can do is stick around for the consequences. He left anyway. Practically ran out the door. Brave guy. I spent the next hour listening to her cycle through every excuse in the book. It didn't mean anything. She still loved me. They had history, and it just happened. I was distant. I worked too much. I didn't understand her needs. I didn't engage with any of it. Just waited for her to run out of steam, then said, the papers outline my position. You can have your lawyer contact mine. She's staying with her sister now. I changed the locks the next day. The divorce process is just starting. My attorney says I have a strong case for keeping the house given my financial contributions. She's already making noise about wanting half of everything, but without having contributed to the mortgage or most expenses for 3 years. Her position is weak. I'll update as things progress. Right now, I'm just trying to process 9 years of lies. Update 1, day 8. So things have gone messy, eh? Shocker, I know. First, the immediate aftermath. After the dinner disaster, her ex went completely silent. No more text to her that I could see, no calls, nothing. Apparently, getting served divorce papers at someone's dining table really kills the romantic mood. Who knew? But my wife, soon-to-be ex-wife, has been anything but silent. Day 2, she showed up at the house while I was at work. Thank God for Ring cameras. I have footage of her trying to get in with her old key, discovering the locks were changed, and then sitting on the porch, crying for 20 minutes before leaving. She didn't take anything, just sat there. Part of me felt bad. A very small part. Day 3, her mother called me. I've always gotten along with her mother, actually. She's a reasonable woman. But this call was something else. I need you to understand that my daughter is devastated. Whatever happened, she loves you. Can't you two work this out? She was having an affair with her ex. The one she's been telling me for 9 years was just a friend. Long pause. She told me you had grown apart, that you were emotionally unavailable. That's a convenient story. The truth is I caught her on the phone planning a meetup while I was supposed to be at a conference. I documented months of hotel visits on her credit card. This isn't a misunderstanding. Another pause. I didn't know. I'm sure you didn't. Because she only tells people the version that makes her look good. Her mother didn't call again after that. I heard through the grapevine that she confronted her daughter about the hotel charges and things got heated. I almost felt bad for dragging her mother into it. But honestly, I'm tired of being the only one dealing with reality. Day 5, the ex's wife called me. Yeah, that's right. He's married too. Has been for 2 years. I didn't even know until his wife found my number in his phone records and put the pieces together. Is it true? She asked. About him and your wife? Unfortunately, yes. I have documentation if you need it. I don't need documentation. I found her underwear in his car last week. I just needed to know who. We talked for about half an hour. 2 strangers, bonded by the same betrayal. She's filing for divorce too. Apparently, he's been telling her he was working late and meeting clients while actually meeting my wife. Classic. Did you know he was married? I asked her about my wife. According to the texts I found, yes. She knew. They joked about it. Called their spouses the clueless ones. That one stung. Not because of the affair, I was already past the shock of that. But because she actively mocked me with him. Laughed about how stupid I was. That's a different level of betrayal. Day 7. My wife's lawyer made initial contact. She's asking for half the house equity, spousal support, and half my retirement accounts. Her argument is that even though she didn't contribute financially, she supported the household emotionally and sacrificed career opportunities for our marriage. My lawyer says this is a standard opening position. We're countering with documentation of her minimal financial contribution over the past 3 years, her affair, and the hotel expenses charged to marital funds. In my state, while adultery doesn't directly affect division, dissipation of marital assets for an affair absolutely does. Day 8. Today, I got a text from an unknown number. It was the ex. I know you probably don't want to hear from me, but I need you to know she pursued me. She reached out after years of nothing. She said you two were basically separated, living like roommates. I believed her. I'm not saying I'm innocent, but I'm not the villain she's making me out to be. I responded, you knew she was married. You came to our house, ate dinner at our table, and slept with her. I don't care who pursued who. You're both adults who made choices. Now you're both facing consequences. Don't contact me again. He didn't respond. Here's the thing that gets me. He's probably telling some version of the truth. She probably did reach out to him. She probably did paint me as some distant, uninvolved husband who didn't appreciate her. That's her pattern. She's always the victim, always the misunderstood romantic heroine. And he bought it because it let him justify what he wanted to do anyway. But I don't have sympathy for him. He knew she was married. He knew I existed. He came to my wedding, for God's sake. He could have said no at any point. He didn't. More updates as the legal process continues. Update 2, Day 22. This is getting uglier, but the end is in sight. Day 12. My wife tried a new approach. She showed up at my office, just walked into the lobby and asked the receptionist to call me down. I work at a tech company with pretty good security, so they called me first to ask if I wanted to see her. I said no. She apparently made a scene, crying and asking why I wouldn't talk to her. Security had to escort her out. My HR department asked if I needed to file anything formal. I declined for now, but documented the incident just in case. Day 14. She started reaching out to our mutual friends. Her version of events is that I blindsided her with divorce papers without any warning, and that I'm being cruel and vindictive by not trying to work things out. A few of them texted me asking if this was true. I responded with the same message to all of them. Ask her about the Marriott on October 14th. Then decide who's being cruel. Most of them stopped asking questions after that. 2 of them, genuine friends who I've known since college, reached out separately to offer support. They said they'd always thought something was off about how close she stayed with her ex. I didn't want to say anything. One of them said, but it always felt weird. Yeah, it did. I just ignored my gut for 9 years because I wanted to believe her. Day 16. The financial discovery process started. My attorney requested complete records of her spending for the past 3 years. What we found was enlightening. Beyond the hotel visits I already knew about, there were restaurant bills for 2 at places she claimed to go with work friends. Gifts purchased that I never received. Spa days and salon visits charged to our card that she claimed were work events. Over $8,000 in unexplained expenses over the past 18 months. She claimed some of it was self-care and networking. My lawyer pointed out that networking doesn't typically involve couples massage packages. Day 18. Her attorney made a revised offer. Dropped the spousal support request, still wants half the house equity, and is now asking for 40% of retirement accounts instead of 50%. Progress, but not enough. My counter. She gets 25% of house equity after we subtract the full down payment I made, no spousal support, and 30% of retirement accounts. Plus, she reimburses half the documented affair expenses from her share. Her lawyer called it punitive. My lawyer called it fair, given the circumstances. Day 20. I found out something that changed my perspective a bit. Through the discovery process, we obtained her text records. The affair had been going on for almost 2 years. 2 years. Not a few months like I'd assumed. The phone call I overheard wasn't the beginning. It was just when I finally caught on. 2 years of lies. 2 years of me asking if everything was okay and her telling me I was paranoid. 2 years of gaslighting while she snuck around with someone who sat at our Thanksgiving table. I had to take a day off work after reading those records. Just sat in my house, my empty, quiet house, and processed the scope of the deception. 9 years together, 2 of them completely fake. Day 22. Today, we had our first mediation session. She walked in looking like she'd been crying. Maybe she had been. I don't really care anymore. Her lawyer presented their case. She gave up career opportunities to support our marriage. She contributed to the household in non-financial ways. The affair was a symptom of deeper relationship problems that I allegedly ignored. My lawyer presented our case. I funded the entire household for 3 years while she contributed nothing financially. The affair lasted 2 years, during which she actively deceived me. Over $8,000 of marital funds were used to facilitate the affair. The mediator asked if reconciliation was possible. I said no. She started crying and said she still loved me. That's interesting, I said, because according to the texts, you called me the clueless one while planning hotel visits with your ex. That doesn't sound like love. The mediator called a break after that. During the break, she approached me in the hallway. I didn't mean those things. I was caught up in something I couldn't control. Please, can't we just talk? We're talking now, through lawyers. Because that's what happens when you spend 2 years lying to someone. I made a mistake. You made thousands of mistakes. Every day, for 2 years, you chose to lie to me. Every text, every hotel room, every time you came home and pretended everything was normal. Those aren't mistakes. Those are choices. And now I'm making mine. She didn't have a response to that. Update 3. Final, date 38. It's done. Signed the final papers yesterday. The settlement wasn't everything I wanted, but my lawyer says I came out ahead given the circumstances. Final terms. She gets 30% of the house equity after the down payment is subtracted from the calculation. That works out to about $45,000 instead of the $120,000 she originally wanted. I keep the house. No spousal support. Her request was denied, given her earning capacity and a short duration of financial dependence. Retirement accounts split 35/65 in my favor. She reimburses $4,000 of the documented affair expenses from her share of assets. Her lawyer pushed back hard on the affair expense reimbursement. But when my lawyer presented the itemized list of hotel rooms and restaurant bills charged to our card, the mediator agreed it qualified as dissipation of marital assets. The ex-boyfriend's divorce finalized last week, too. His wife took him to the cleaners, primary custody of their daughter, the house, and significant spousal support. Apparently, his affair with my wife wasn't the first time he'd strayed, just the first time he got caught with documentation. From what I've heard, he and my wife aren't even talking anymore. Their deep connection that transcended romance, apparently couldn't survive the reality of legal fees and divided assets. The last few days have been strange. The house feels different without her in it. Not better, not worse, just different. I'm still sleeping on my side of the bed out of habit. Still buying her brand of coffee when I go shopping, then remembering and putting it back. 9 years of shared life doesn't evaporate just because you signed some papers. Some people have asked if I regret how I handled things. The dinner ambush. The public serving of papers. Maybe it was dramatic. Maybe it was petty. But you know what? After 9 years of being told I was crazy for being uncomfortable, 9 years of her ex being shoved in my face, 9 years of swallowing my instincts because I wanted to be the bigger person, I think I earned one moment of drama. She texted me yesterday after signing the papers. Just one message. I'm sorry it ended this way. I did love you. I didn't respond. What's the point? She loved me while sleeping with her ex for 2 years. She loved me while calling me clueless. She loved me while spending our money on hotel rooms. If that's love, I don't want any part of it. The ex is now ex-wife, and I have stayed in touch. Oddly enough, she's doing okay. Starting over, like me. We joke sometimes that we should have compared notes years ago. Maybe we could have saved ourselves a lot of time. But that's the thing about cheaters. They're good at compartmentalizing. They keep their worlds separate until someone kicks down the walls. I kicked, and yet made a mess. But at least now I can see clearly. The house is officially just mine now. I repainted the bedroom last weekend. She'd chosen this sage green color I never really liked, so I went with a simple gray. Feels more like my space now. Work has been a good distraction. My boss has been understanding about the occasional half-days for legal stuff. My coworkers know something happened, but haven't pried, which I appreciate. My social circle has reshuffled. Some people chose her side, some chose mine, most just awkwardly avoided both of us. The 2 college friends who reached out have become closer allies than before. We got beers last week and didn't even talk about the divorce. Just normal stuff. It felt good. I'm not dating. Not even thinking about it yet. I need time to figure out how I ignored red flags for 9 years. Time to understand why I kept making excuses for behavior that never felt right. My therapist says it's about rebuilding trust in my own instincts. That seems right. Some nights I still get angry. Not at her, specifically. That anger burned itself out during the divorce process. More at myself. For not listening to my gut. For believing her when she said I was the problem. For spending so long trying to be the secure partner when security should go both ways. But mostly, I feel relief. Relief that I don't have to pretend anymore. Relief that I don't have to watch her text him and wonder. Relief that when I come home, the silence is just silence, not the tense quiet of someone waiting for the other shoe to drop. She made her choice. He made his choice. And I made mine. I chose myself. Finally. Thanks for reading, everyone. Trust your instincts. Document everything. And never let anyone convince you that your discomfort is unreasonable. Take care of yourselves.